Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the eighth episode of Silver and Blue Insights podcast. Almost spoof that. I'm your host, as always, Justin Alonso, joined on the other side of Discord, not technology. I'm switching you up on this time. Andrew Mendez, how are you doing?
I'm feeling decent. I'm not the best, uh, but not the worst.
Hmm,
Uh, I'm happy about the Yankees clinch the division.
that was very nice.
I think that was fun last night. Uh, a lot to discuss with the Cowboys though. We our last episode we said there was not a lot to discuss, but I think there might be a few things we want to talk about today.
I will say it is kind of funny because it was probably 60-40 Giants Cowboys fans there, and I forget what I think it was just like a TV timeout. They showed the Yankees in the clubhouse celebrating, like popping champagne, all that. The
Really?
entire stadium went crazy,
That's
so that
so
was
hype.
fun. But
That's always cool. I always love when they do like more updates at games
yeah,
from other sports in the city, and everybody just goes crazy.
yeah, no, that was fun. Um, the game itself was interesting. We had just because I went to the game obviously, and there was a girl maybe the row behind us and 10 seats down that took her top off and was like waving it like.
That's
It's
funny.
just yeah. We also there was a Cowboys fan that he went alone and he was just chirping Giants fans.
I mean, I respect that. I respect
I
the
want you to
move.
guess whose jersey he was wearing.
Uh, Morris Claiborne.
Brandon Aubrey. A man with a kicker jersey was going up and down our entire section just chirping Giants fans.
I love that.
It was
I mean, he is the best player on the team. So,
yeah, it was hysterical.
but why, look, what do you think this girl had her like top off for? Like, what
She was
was
plastered.
she was just
She was
plastered and just
plastered.
felt how old? She was like old or young?
30, probably about that. Like 27 to 33, somewhere in that range.
That's crazy.
Uh, that was definitely an
Anything
experience.
else
Go on.
fun happen at MetLife? With how many times have you been to MetLife now?
I don't even know. Probably like 6 or 7. Just because I also went twice for high school football games. I went once for like a Rutgers game. Yeah, like 6, 7, maybe 8 times.
I'm not the biggest fan of MetLife.
I'm not
I mean,
either.
nobody really is. It's just like they spent so much money on that stadium just for like it to
The
be
same
so
amount as the
fucking
Cowboy
bland.
Stadium.
Yeah, I know, and Jerry World is so much
So
nicer.
much nicer. And I don't see no AI version of whoever the Giants owner is. So I'm just
John
saying.
Mara,
Yeah, I don't see no AI version of him. But
yeah, because they're boring.
yeah, blow up that turf. Just might as well kick it off with just the injuries. So they had 3 big injuries. One of them was just a massive bullet dodge that looked a lot worse on the field. Trayvon Diggs went down. I thought he died. I thought he was just done. And then I saw the tweet that said dehydration. I'm like, thank God.
No, wait, so you thought he was like really hurt,
I thought he was dead.
like when he
I I I thought
well,
like he tore both of his ACLs. I
that's so funny because my initial reaction was I didn't see him go down, and then they said on the broadcast that Diggs is down. There's like the injured player's Diggs. And I was like, no. And then I saw him on the ground like holding his leg, and I was like, oh my God, no, no,
no
no.
no no.
And then
You go, you go.
wait, you go.
I was just gonna say he was involved in the play, so I was still looking at where the play happened. So I saw him go down.
Well, I saw him go down, but I didn't realize like he was like staying down until the
Oh no no no! I
broadcaster.
saw him go down. And I saw him stay down, and I was shitting
You were
bricks.
like, and you were like, "Fuck, season's over. We have
Yeah,
no Bland and no Diggs."
no Carson, literally out. Just
We were literally down to our number 4 and 5 quarterbacks at
it
one point.
was bad. But
That was funny, but I will say, I when I saw him go down, I thought it was like, oh fuck, he's fucked at first, but like then they started like checking him out, and I realized I was like, okay, it's just a cramp. And then
Yeah,
I saw him walk to the locker room, and I was like, okay, it's just a cramp or something like that.
yeah,
I dodged a bullet. Not that really anything happened.
yeah. It's also a lot easier when you're watching the game than at the game because you like it's a lot
Yeah,
easier to know what's going on. But
yeah.
the other two injuries, which are a lot more serious, are DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. So Micah Parsons has a high ankle sprain. They said he's out multiple weeks, and DeMarcus Lawrence is worse. He has a foot sprain, and they said that he's out a decent bit longer. That's what the news was. Mike McCarthy, literally 20 minutes ago, said that they're getting second opinions because both injuries are worse than they initially thought. So I don't know what that means. I don't think any of us knows what that means until he said Monday we'd kind of have a more concrete answer to it. Realistically, I think you play 2 games, then you have your bye week. I think Micah, at least, I hope is back after the bye. DeMarcus Lawrence, I don't see him come back after the bye. Just with how they've been talking about this injury, I don't see him come back for another like 6, 7 weeks at least.
Really?
Just with
Didn't they say like 2 to 4?
no, maybe for Micah, but the way they've been talking
I,
about D-Law,
I was mixed it up because I saw 2 to 4 for Micah, but I thought I saw 2 to 4 was D-Law, but like they're obviously they definitely feel more optimistic about Micah's, but I don't know. Did you see a report that said 6 to 8 weeks?
no, that's just eyeballing. Because based off what I see about high ankle sprains, Micah's would probably be about 2 to 4 weeks. And if they're saying that DeMarcus Lawrence's is like a decent bit worse, that would kind of make me think like 6 to 8. Also, the fact that D-Law is like 8 years older, 8, 9 years older than Micah. So that
Yeah,
plus
that's
age,
probably
and he's also, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he broke he had a Jones fracture in his foot 2 seasons ago. Let me do a foot break. Let me yeah, D-Law, let me yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence broke his foot. Oh my god, he broke it in 2014 as well. Yeah, so
ooh.
he broke his foot twice in his career and the foot sprain. I'm pretty sure it's the same foot. So it's like you're older, that's your third kind of major injury to that foot. It's like they're definitely going to want to slow play it. So
Yeah, for sure.
I hate to say it, but it's not like he's been good this year.
No, yeah, that's not like I'm panicking because Marcus Lawrence is out 6 to 8 weeks. It sucks, but he wasn't that good anyway. So, but Micah, that really hurts.
Yeah. Do you know D-Law's win rate this week?
0.0
Zero again. Not
once
shitting on
again.
the guy, he's hurt, but just he needs to figure something out. Hopefully that time off will help him. Who knows, but
He did get a sack.
it's he always sacks Daniel
I'm just
Jones.
I'm just I'm just trying to like help him out, like read some
But there's also multiple
positive.
plays where he just ate shit when trying to make a play.
Yeah. No, like we said, 0%, 0.0% win rate. I think that tells a story.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not trying to harp on the guy. Don't, especially with him being
Yeah.
hurt. But just kind of moving on to the offense. I just want to talk about the play calling. What the fuck? What the hell? Like that was just some of the worst play calling I've seen in my entire life. Because what was working earlier in the game was when you used Dak and you used the pass to open up the run. Because let me tell you, this run game is not good. They used the pass to open up the run, and then the run got a lot better. So what do? They stopped doing that. I just want to talk about the horrible, horrible, horrible sequence that they had. I forget if it was the last drive or second to last drive of the game, where it was a 1st and 19 run to CD Lamb, then a 2nd and 20 run up the middle to Zeke as the running back, and then a 3rd and 12 3-yard drag route to Lipke. As much as I love Lipke and we'll get
They
into him, that was a play where he literally had 1 foot before he stepped out of bounds. I just don't understand that drive. Like that makes no sense.
What is the thing with like what is it with our play callers that they always love? It was a thing with Jason Garrett, I feel like. It was a thing with Kellen Moore, and it's a thing with McCarthy where they always just love doing like screenplays on third and forever.
Well, that wasn't even a screenplay.
Or no, I mean either screen or like a 3 yard, yeah, like you said, like 3 yard across the middle. It's like get the first down.
It just
Like we're not. It's like they're like just trying to get in better pump position.
like third and 12, I get it, but like first and 19, you're doing a jet sweep run. Second and 20, you're running it up the gut. Like that just you're setting yourself up
It
for
just seems
failure.
like it just seems like they're really trying to force the CD run play
Mm.
and like make it like a thing because their run game is so bad, but it's just like I not that it never works, but
I don't
it
hate
just
it.
goes to show.
I don't hate it. I just think it has to be in the right packages. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I don't want him doing jet sweeps. I want him more when you have a blocker or two in front of him. And because you give a blocker or two, he only has one, maybe two guys to beat. I'm a lot more confident than him having to beat three or four guys. Because that's just the type of guy CD is. Where, like, he's not going to break it. He doesn't. It's so weird. He doesn't break tackles, he kind of just slips out of them. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Where it's not like a strength thing, it's more like a technique and body control thing. So it's a lot harder to do a technique body control thing to break four tackles than it is to break one or two. So I don't hate the CeeDee Lamb runs. I just think the play calling of when they did it and how they did it was horrible.
Honestly, agreed. Yeah, I don't hate it either. I just think it just needs to be executed a lot more, but it just felt like they did it at like the worst possible times. Like we said, the first and 19. CD did do very good though. He had a pretty good game, I will say though.
Yeah,
Very
what was
happy
it?
with CD.
I have it down here. I guess I don't have it down here. I think he had about 95 yards and a touchdown. It was weird that the first half, that was pretty much where he got all of his yards. In the second half, they gave him like two or three targets. They kind of just went away from using him, which just didn't make sense to me because he was playing so incredibly well, and then they kind of just stopped unless it was like a 3 or 4 yard play. So that didn't make sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go back and look back. Maybe he was being more tightly covered in the second half.
But even then, like there was a stat that I saw that out of the six highest, oh my god, how do I word this? Out of the six highest tight window throws in the NFL, or like percentage of how often they happen, Dak Prescott has the second, two of the six most games, meaning that he's just constantly throwing into tight windows because no one on this team can get separation.
That definitely adds up. That
S-
doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah,
'Cause Dak feels like he can get a little too confident at times, and that's when things go
I
ugly.
don't even think it's that. I just think he has to do that because there's no one else
But
that's
yeah,
open.
well, yeah, but like I'm saying, like he'll force some stuff,
Mm,
but like he has to at the end of the day, so really can't blame him. I feel bad for Dak. Dak's playing good this year, but it's really just getting overshadowed.
yeah, like the I just have a couple of quick things to hit on talking about how Dak's not really getting help and how like the play calling's kind of just betraying him. So, a lot of different things you could do in the NFL to help one create more separation, scheme guys open, and kind of just give the quarterback more of a chance. One of those things is play action. They're 20. This is all before this week, by the way. 26th in play action rate. Another thing, you run a couple of screens every here and there. Let your athletic guys be athletes. 30th in screens. Another thing, RPOs. Let your smart quarterback determine what the better play is. 22nd. Motion, which is the staple of the Shanahan tree. Using motion, and that's why they're so good. 21st or 21st in the league in motion. They were better this week, but I just don't understand this offense. Like it literally feels like it was something made in the 1940s when guys had rubber helmets. Like,
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far,
oh yeah, I'm
considering
definitely
like
being hyperbolic, but
they didn't really pass the ball back in 1940. So
no, I'm
I
definitely
don't
being hyperbolic, but
know. Yeah, I don't. I feel like there's a much better comparison to be made than 1940s, but I don't know, man. Like the run game looked a little better, I guess. Rico did have some nice runs, but Zeke just really can't do anything.
he's cooked. He's
Zeke is
cooked.
so washed.
Like I don't get
I
why
can remember
you go, you go.
one first down rush that he had, but besides that, they barely even wanted to give him the ball.
Cuz Rico was playing so well that entire game. And so when you have to close the game out, you go to Zeke. That almost felt like Jerry Jones calling. He was like, "Yo, Mikey, you we paid Zeke all this money. Why isn't he on the field? Like, shut up, Jerry." Like, it almost feels like someone called down to him saying you have to use Ezekiel Elliott. And I wouldn't be surprised with this clown show of an organization if that's what happened.
I don't know. It might be just like they're trying to get him some reps. Like they
But
still want to keep, they still
he's
want to
dog
like
shit.
he's the RB. Yeah, I don't know. He is the RB too.
Which he
But
shouldn't
we
be.
also have yeah, low key. But Deuce Vaughn is getting more more snaps, I feel like. And Lipke. I think it's time to talk about Hunter Lipke.
Yeah. He had 29 snaps this week, and which he had 30 last week, so it's only one less. I don't understand a lot of the shit that they. I like a lot of the stuff they did with him, but other stuff was so just stupid. Like for example, when it was 4th and inches, you ran a stretch play with Lipke. What?
But it worked.
It worked, but out of spite. Because he got tackled in the backfield, but he just broke the tackle and stumbled for a first down.
I'm gonna disagree. I actually like that play call because it's so unpredictable. Like you think when you give the ball to your fullback on 4th and inches, they're gonna go up the right the middle. They're expecting a right up the middle. Even though it probably will work, honestly. But nobody's expecting us to do a halfback stretch with Hunter Lipke.
But my thing
And it
is
worked.
that
We got like 5 6 yards.
there is so many better plays that you could do. You could either do a QB sneak with Dak, you could do a RPO, you could do so many other things. You could have a tight end leak out. There's a play action pass. There's so many different things that you could have done that doing a stretch play with a fullback, as much as I love Lipke, that just didn't make sense to me. I think that was just a horrible play call. That could have cost the Cowboys the game.
It could have, but it didn't. I feel like there's more to be not to say that you're a complainer, but like there's more to complain about than the 4th and inches that we converted.
It's more so just the play calling overall didn't make sense. And
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. The play calling, I didn't like play calling, but that specific one, I don't hate.
I think it just there's so many other better options that you could have done. But regardless, Lipke overall had a great game. He had an incredible catch on 3rd and 6 that was about an 11-yard reception that Dak thread the needle through two defenders. Lipke sliding while making the catch. Had a couple other notes on him. Whatever. Oh yeah. So I was doing notes on just like my notes app, just writing down things, and it auto corrected Lipke to leukemia. So it's in my notes. It says leukemia crazy catch on 3rd and 6.
That was that was hype though. That was
That was
I
awesome.
texted
Yeah.
you right away. I was like, that is so hype.
Yeah.
Like he might be the fourth best weapon on the team. Might be.
Honestly, like even
Maybe
had
third?
you go
No, not third. But fourth is an argument.
definitely, but we didn't even mention or like we kind of talked about it, but how he absolutely dusted Kyle Hamilton last week. Absolutely dusted the best safety in football. So
Hmm.
he's not just a running back. I really want to see them getting him more active in the receiving game. And even if he's not being used as the ball carrier, I want to see him make throw some blocks. Cause say you do like you we were mentioning earlier how CD and how like I like the run plays with CD. I just don't like the way they're doing it. If you do a stretch to the outside with Hunter Lipke blocking for CD Lamb, and then you have Luke Schoonmaker, who's a pretty good blocker. You have those two guys blocking for CD Lamb. I think that's a great play that has potential to be a 20, 30-yard play. But it's a thing of you got to do it. Use Lipke. He's an all-around just great weapon. I like that they're experimenting a lot more with him, and I really want that experiment to continue.
Yeah, we just gotta keep harping it. Honestly, if we just keep speaking it into existence, Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, if you're watching this, just keep feeding
Of
Lipke,
course.
honestly. That is one of the things. That is one of the things we like about the play calling.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, he might be just like useless.
He's so bad.
He's just
He's
useless.
so bad. Like, I don't know what you do with him anymore. Like, I have one idea, and I'm not even sure how much I like it, which would be that Brandon Cooks is primarily going to be your slot receiver, just so that way he has easier matchups.
That's what I like him as.
But
That's what he was best as,
the
I
only
feel like.
thing is that limits CD Lamb more, where CD Lamb was so good because of his versatility, and he had a lot more yards on the outside compared to the slant or compared to the slot. But I just don't want to limit CD Lamb because you're forcing in Brandon Cooks. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think you have to force him like in the slot all the time. I think when you want to put CD there, just I don't know. Cooks is not that valuable that he needs to be on the field all the time
Mm-hmm.
anymore, honestly. So I think just don't. I don't like absolutely should not be the wide receiver two anymore. Just play him when you can. Just make wide receiver two like a rotating thing
Hunter
between like
Lipke.
Hunter Lipke, Hunter Lipke for wide receiver two.
Hunter Lipke
But yeah,
QB1.
I didn't think I would be saying that I like Turpin and
Yeah.
Olbert better than Cooks.
I really have liked. I was really harsh on Tolbert the first 2 weeks, and even a little bit last week. But I really like what I've seen from him. He's getting open more consistently. He's almost being a safety blanket for Dak. I think that the more those two kind of play together, the better Tolbert will be. So I'm really curious to see how they integrate him into the offense overall. Um, yeah,
Yeah, like I agree. Tolbert definitely has been pretty impressive. He had the second best grade of all offensive players besides all receivers
really. Hmm. Interesting.
behind
What was it?
CG. He had a 69.3 receiving,
Okay, that's pretty solid.
which is yeah, slightly above what Rico had. CD had 83.5. And then Brandon Cooks with a 56.2.
Yeah, Cooks and he off. It's also another thing of he just offers you nothing as a run blocker because he's not a big wide receiver. So if you're not gonna get much as a run blocker, then it's like, what are we doing here, bud? But
Hmm.
kind of the last thing I want to talk about on offense was just, well, quick note on CD since you mentioned him. That may have been the softest taunting call I've seen in my entire life.
Why did they even did they was it because he hit someone with the ball?
No, I'm pretty sure it's
Was
because
it
he
just because
kind
he
of just like
blinked?
turned around for half of a second.
So like that was such a BS call.
The ridiculous thing is you could get ejected for taunting. If you get two taunting calls in a game, you get ejected.
Yeah, if they called that as a second one, he got ejected. That would have been ridiculous. I don't think they would have.
Like CD, literally, all I see because CD Lamb, he was on my end zone, so I see him running into the end zone. He literally steps into the end zone, looks back, then two flags get thrown. I'm like, what?
I was confused honestly because like when I saw his like celebration, I never for a second was I like, oh, taunting.
They threw
and
it
then
the
it came in.
second he stepped in the end zone. There was not a defender within 10 to 15 yards of him. It was ridiculous.
That's so stupid.
It was,
Do you want to talk about the O line before we move on to the
that
defense?
was the thing I was going to talk about before I just remembered about CeeDee Lamb. Tyler Guyton is just not ready, and it sucks because a competent organization would have kept Tyron Smith, and then we wouldn't have to worry about just throwing Tyler Guyton into the fire. He has some plays every here and there, and you're really just going to have to focus on giving him a lot of help. And this is not me blaming Tyler Guyton. We all knew he was a developmental tackle, but for this organization in a win now period to make him your left tackle and not really give him that much help is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty
It's
at all.
definitely not.
I don't I don't really know what to say. We had a lot of confidence, so it's just like really disappointing. But the rest of the line, not bad. Terrence Steele, had that one pretty bad block on Kayvon, but besides that, he was good. Tyler Smith looked good.
Yeah. I was gonna mention Terrence Steele. He Brian Burns did not generate a single pressure on 25 snaps. Or on 25 pass rushing snaps. Did not generate a single pressure. 17 of those 25, he was lined up against Terrence Steele.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear that. I'd love
I
to hear that.
There was something I
Those
saw
stats.
that Brian Burns had a groin injury right before the Browns game, and he wasn't on the injury report this week. But you also had to be curious if that had anything to do with it, because you don't expect a guy that of that caliber to just fall off the face of the earth against an offensive lineman that's not been good this year. Especially when you consider that Dexter Lawrence was double teamed 80% of the time this game.
That's wild.
He was double. I'm not sure if that was overall or just in pass blocking sets, but yeah, 80% of the time.
Wild, but like not surprising. It's Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah. It's surprising that
But
everyone else couldn't capitalize off that. That's the surprising part. Because Cooper Beebe allowed zero pressures yet again.
he's the real deal. He's
He
good.
is.
Oh,
Yeah. He had
he's
22
definitely the
pass
real deal.
blocking snaps against Dexter Lawrence. 22 and zero pressures. That's insane.
Yeah, overall it was solid. Solid game from the O line. There's some issues, but more just a play calling was the issue here, not the O line.
Yeah. Um, that's
Do
all
you
I
have
really
anything
had
else
on the
on the
offense.
off?
If wanted to move on to the other side of the ball, I don't have too much to talk about on the defense. I kind of have a lot more macro things. Kind of just, or really, there's only like three guys I wanted to talk about. Um, I
Overshown.
Overshown was the huge one, just because he was flying, flying to the
He
football.
is so quick. That tackle he made near the end zone, I think it was third and goal. That was
On Wandale
just
Robinson too, who's a very
came
fast
out
wide
of nowhere.
receiver.
Like literally out of nowhere.
Like that was ridiculous, and just because I just thought about it. I never put it in my notes, but because you were talking about flagging guys down, the play where they did like a carry or either like a check down to Malik Neighbors and Micah Parsons was step for step with him was crazy. Where Malik Neighbors was trying to run to the outside, but Micah Parsons was literally step for step with him is just wild.
That is crazy. I miss you, Mika.
Yeah.
Please come back.
No, but they
Please.
definitely got to get Overshow more playing time, just because
Yeah, I
he played
think
his lights
after
out.
this game, I think after this game that like this proved like more he's getting more playing time after this. There's really no excuse.
Yeah, And then kind of just like
He
a
got he got 59 snaps this game, so I think they
okay.
got the
You
memo.
said 59?
He got 59 and he had a 77 PFF grade, which was the second best on the defense behind only Mozzie Smith.
Which I will get into. But actually, no. Since you mentioned Mozzie, we could talk about Mozzie. He had an 88.4 PFF grade, which is by far the best in his career. And a big thing is this isn't the same Giants O line of past. This offensive line has played a lot better. It's because we talked about it. I'm on. For those that don't know, I'm on a radio show, and we talk about all New York sports, and we are previewing this matchup. And we've been talking for the last couple of weeks about how this is probably the best Giants offensive line in 10 years, just because it's been so much better than the ones that they've had recently. So this wasn't a bum defensive line. He also didn't have DeMarcus Lawrence for half the game, which may have helped. Micah Parsons was dealing with injury. I'm pretty sure he didn't play in the fourth quarter like at all. And Mozzie just looked awesome. He was just bullying people. He was just getting to making plays, and I think he's a main reason why the run defense was so good. Because
Yeah, absolutely.
if you had, if you're gonna say someone,
Or no, no, keep going. I was just saying, I just want to say, like, without a doubt, Mozzie is what changed the
yeah.
run game, or part of the game.
Did you see how many rushes and how many yards the Giants had?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head.
The Giants had 24 carries. How many, including Daniel Jones runs, all that? How many rushing yards would you have expected them to get before this week, based off what we saw from the Saints and Ravens games?
Probably like 120, 145, 100, so much, somewhere between like 120 and 140.
Okay, so that'd be like five a carry. Call it five a carry. They allowed 26 yards for 1.08 a carry.
Where was this defense the first 3 weeks?
Mozzie Smith. Honestly, Mozzie Smith. Like that. That is a thing of when because Osa is just Osa. He's gonna always play great. He's better as a pass rusher compared to a run blocker. But when you have Mozzie next to him, just eating up double teams and just blowing people up and just making a play what felt like every other run play, then that's what happens. Just that he is the key to this run defense being better. Because without him, I truly think they lose this game without Mozzie Smith. Just because I think they get ran all over and the defense wouldn't be able to make a stop.
Hmm. But yeah, he was massive, obviously, because now with D-Law and Parsons out, he's just gonna be the guy that needs to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to see more. We need more games like this from Mozzie, or else
Yeah,
it's gonna be a disaster without Mika.
yeah. This, oh god, this is gonna sound so like a hot take that I'm just trying to get clicks when I say this, but I think there's a higher than 0% chance that with Micah and D Law out that the run defense gets better. Just because they're both primarily like pass rush guys. Marshawn Nealon and Chauncey Goldston, well, they won't offer you much as pass rushers. They have looked incredible against the run as of late. So if you have Osa, Mozzie, Nealon, and Goldston, that probably is a better run defense, honestly. Obviously, your pass defense gets, or your pass rush gets significantly worse, but I low key think that's a big upgrade, at
I
least for
don't
running
even think
points.
that's a bad take considering how DeMarcus Lawrence has looked this year.
Well, it's just crazy to say that the defense, in
Yeah,
one part of the game, the defense is better with Micah Parsons being off the field. You know what I mean?
yeah, it is crazy to say. I agree, but it's like you said, the balance, like the pass rush, is
Yeah.
obviously nowhere near the same.
And
And who do we have next week?
we have the Steelers.
Okay, all right. So like, not like the worst thing to worry about, Justin Fields, but
Yeah. I will say that Zach Frazier, a center that the Steelers drafted this year, a guy that I really liked. I saw some people even having the Cowboys drafting him in the first round. I wouldn't. I think that would have been a little bit too rich for the Cowboys, but they drafted him this year. He's looked really good for them so far. I think he has one of the lowest pressure rates amongst rookie offensive linemen. Him and Cooper Beebe. Um, so he's really good. Definitely gonna be interesting to see how Mozzie does against him. But I just want to talk about the secondary, and I don't even know where to begin. I guess I'll just start with Diggs. On, I do not understand why Trayvon Diggs was not following Malik Neighbors the entire game.
Yeah, why was he not on him?
It just
Like,
because Malik Neighbors, there was five. He had 5 targets when Trayvon Diggs was covering him. He was 2 for 5 with 20 yards. Keep in mind Malik Neighbors had 117 yards, at least receiving.
what? What are we doing here? Like, what? Like, the first fucking drive of the game, you just see Malik Neighbors wide open. Literally no one within, like, 10 yards of him. Because he just got juked and we just didn't. Or
10.
he's mad
Trust me,
fast, but
10 yards is an
nobody.
understatement. It was 20. Like I'm
Yeah,
not.
it
I'm
was, it
not
was
kidding when I say that. It was about 15, 20 yards.
Yeah, no, now that I say that, now that I realize what I said, you are right. It was like so much space. Like how? It was like how is nobody even in the vicinity of this dude? Like Malik Neighbors should not be left on like a one-on-one.
I think it's just because the safeties suck. Honestly, just because Donovan Wilson has been god awful. He's he made a couple tackles, but I feel like he made garbage tackles. A lot of the tackles that he missed were big tackles that either the Giants were able to convert a third or fourth down, or they would have been like a huge TFL, and he just wasn't making those tackles. And I just I'm so over Donovan Wilson until he learns to, or because he used to be such a good tackler. Until he learns to tackle again, I'm out on him. And Malik Hooker looks like the slowest 40 or 28-year-old person on the planet. On the Giants, what they thought was a fumble that then got overturned to not a or got called back. When he picked up the ball, he got chased down by a backup tight end, which he had like a 10-yard head start on. That's just not good.
Yeah. No, I was confused when that happened because I was like, did he just realize that like it's not gonna be a fumble and he just slowed down?
Nope.
Because I was like, how did he catch up to him? He had an easy touchdown.
It was just so bad. Like he was so slow. It's not like the I forget who the backup tight end was. It's not like he's fast. No, Malik Hooker is just to the point where he cannot run. Like he legitimately does not have any speed. I don't know what it is, but figure it out.
That was just like I think that was then something that is going to go overshadowed just because the fumble didn't count. But you are right. It's so funny that you bring it up now. Like, how did he catch up to him? What? An NFL safety. Like, that's.
It's
I
time where
don't know if you remember the one play when it was like third or fourth down and short. I think it might have been a fourth down. And Donovan Wilson dives at Singletary and he does a spin move and gets to him. I feel like if he just runs at him and he doesn't dive, he easily makes that tackle.
yeah. He's trying to
Like,
I feel like he's trying to go for the biggest hit possible too much. Cuz that's what he would do and like he would hit guys the last couple of years, but it's just not working. Whether that be less athleticism, guys getting smarter, no like that's how he does it, and the league kind of just figure that out about him. I don't know what it is, but he's got to figure it out.
yeah, I don't know. He just wanted to go for the big play and be the hero there, but like you can't do that on a fourth down when the guy is still 4 yards away. It's not like he didn't need to stop
Yeah.
him at the line of scrimmage.
He just had to
Just
stop him
that just
there.
didn't make any sense to me. Just had to
Yeah.
stop him.
But kind of the last thing I want to talk about on the defense was just yes, the run. I am encouraged by this defense, not necessarily because of how they played, but with what they were playing with. Where you didn't have DeMarcus Lawrence, you missed Micah Parsons for a quarter, there were points where you're on the field. You had CB 5, 6, and 7 because Jordan Lewis couldn't be on the field the entire time. So when Diggs was out and Jordan Lewis was getting gas, you had to take him off. So you literally had guys that should be bagging groceries on the field in the secondary, and that's not even including the safeties because you didn't put Wanye Thomas, Marquise Bell, Israel Mukamu. You didn't put any of those guys back there. So you realistically had no secondary against probably a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL and one of the best number 2 receivers in my opinion in Wan'Dale Robinson, and you still were able to win that game on the road against a division rival. Granted, the Giants aren't that good, but being able to just be that dominant against the run with absolutely no corners, because obviously, like, you would think about it, if like they could just pass so much on you, then it's gonna be a lot harder to stop the run because you're gonna have to put more effort into stopping the pass, and then it's just a whole self-fulfilling prophecy. I was very impressed with that overall, just with the lack of talent, how good they were able to perform.
Yeah, I definitely want to give credit. I completely agree. Giants aren't the most like impressive offense, but that was without a doubt the number one thing. Well, not the secondary in general. Like not I'm not saying the number one thing I was happy about was secondary, but just the defense in general was the thing that I was definitely happy about to see them finally make a step in the right direction.
Even then, I feel like the Giants. I'm not saying the Giants' offense is good, but I think it's better than people give it credit for.
I agree. I think Daniel Jones is a much better quarterback than publicized.
Hmm. Well, it's also because there weren't any corners on the field, so that does help a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, I would agree with you. Um, I don't really have much more else that I really have. Did you have anything else you want to
Auburn
talk about?
missed a kick.
Yeah, that was. Do you agree with them kicking there?
Yeah, I agree with it.
Okay, I do too. I saw a couple of people saying like, "Oh, why would you kick it? It's a 50-yarder." Or I think it was like a four. No, it was a 51-yarder. Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker in the NFL. He's been perfect all year. He made a 66-yarder earlier in the year that got called back. He made a 65-yarder last week. He made like a 63-yarder this week. So it's just I have no issue with them going for the kick. It was just unfortunate when it happened.
Yeah, unfortunate for Cowboys minus 5.5 betters, but I wasn't like worried. I was worried because yeah, they were getting the ball back, but I knew the Giants were not going to score.
Yeah. Um,
So against a defense that hasn't scored a touchdown all game, and they have how much time? Like how much time was left when they kicked that?
there was not much
There
time.
was still yeah, there was not that much
There
time
was
left. So
about
it was
30
like
seconds.
yeah, so with like 30 seconds left, best kicker in the NFL, Daniel Jones on the other side hasn't scored a touchdown all game.
I I, for,
And I didn't even second guess it,
I forget
honestly.
how many timeouts they had. They either had none or one.
I
I
think
want
they
to
had
say
none.
I
I'm
want to
pretty
say
sure
they
they
had
used their
none.
timeout to try to stop the clock when we had
Yeah.
the ball.
It I will say the only thing that was weird about the kick for me is that they kind of just Mike McCarthy. We had 3 timeouts left, and they kind of just rushed out the field goal unit. Like that didn't make sense to me. Like me at that point, you had 30. There's 30 seconds left in the game. You have 2 or 3 timeouts. Why not just call the timeout? Let them kind of just get out to the field at a normal pace rather than forcing them to just like go 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 rush out rush out rush out. That didn't make much sense to me.
But they also rushed out, but then kicked the field goal with 1 second left.
Yeah. So it's like,
So, like, what? I don't know. They rushed out just to wait to the last second.
but that could also be a thing if they just weren't. They had to calm down for a second and they barely had any time left. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
That's true.
that was weird. That just call a timeout. There's no harm in calling that timeout there.
Yeah.
Like it literally does not hurt you. I'm trying to think of any way that using that timeout
Well,
there could hurt you.
what if Daniel Jones throws a 70-yard touchdown pass to Malik Neighbors, and then we need to get a field goal?
You know that quote that the coach for the Colts had about if Peyton Manning went down?
Uh, No.
He said, if Peyton Manning, and this is a direct quote, if Peyton Manning goes down, we're effed. You don't plan for effed. If Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones run down that field, score a 70-yard touchdown in 30 seconds, you're effed. And you don't plan for effed. That is the best way I could put it.
That's a good way to go about it. But like it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to rush out there. So that's kind of where I'm like, don't need a call timeout.
Yeah, I just no reason to rush it. It just so like, I don't know. It is a nitpick. I will say that,
Yeah, it's such a nitpick, honestly.
but it's more so because there were so many concerning things like just decisions from Mike McCarthy, whether it be play calling, timeout usage. I will say when he challenged the fumble, I had no issue with that because there was like no time left in the half. You still had all three of your timeouts. If you get that fumble return, I think it would be 14-6 with like 2 minutes left, and would have been on like the 40-yard line, so you essentially could have put the game away if you did that. So I have no issue with challenging that play. Just something else. So I will give him like credit for that because it really was like a no risk play or like a low risk high reward. Just challenging it.
Okay, so you're giving Mike McCarthy credit for a no risk, high reward decision. Credit, like, what a credit to you for that.
No, I will give Mike McCarthy credit where he deserves it. I just think there's a lot of areas that he could be doing a lot better in.
Agreed.
So it's just that's
Don't like we said, this is Mike McCarthy's last year, so
yeah, it's just
it is what it is, honestly. I'm just like in it for the ride. I'm not expecting anything from the season. It's just like just get McCarthy out of here and then we reset.
yeah, Bill Belichick. But I don't got much else unless you have anything else you kind of just wanted to throw in there.
No, I think we pretty much covered it all. We got the Steelers next week. Wait, is that a night game?
Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football. All right. We got Justin Fields. I don't even
We think
remember
at
us
least.
facing Justin Fields. Why? Russ might start?
No, just how Mike Tomlin said that they're not committed to a quarterback.
Yeah, but it'll be Fields
It should
until
be Fields.
it's not. It'll be Fields until it's not. I don't remember if the Cowboys ever faced Justin Fields.
I want to say they did.
They probably did once, but I don't remember like how they fared. I'll probably go back and look back and see how they did. Although it is a completely different offense and team.
I'm looking at StatMuse right now. It was on. It was a oh. It was a game on my birthday. Um, he had 120 passing yards with 2 touchdowns.
When was that?
2022. I'm pretty sure they blew them out.
Okay, that makes sense. The Bears sucked.
Yeah, 49-29 Cowboys. So,
Okay,
uh,
makes sense why that game isn't very memorable for me. Just like another blowout.
yeah. I think it was close for a bit though. If I remember correctly, it was kind of close for a little bit, and then Cowboys kind of just like pulled away. Let me. Cause I just had it. Yeah, at one point. So Cowboys went up 14-0 in the first quarter. I don't know when the points were scored, but Bears scored 17 in the second quarter. Cowboys scored 14. So I don't know if it was a thing of they scored a touchdown, we scored, or whatever, but it was. Yeah, we blew them out. Anyways, doesn't matter. Um,
So Steelers next week, and then we got the Niners, right?
no, then
Bye
there's
week, the
Lions
Niners.
and then bye week.
But yeah, Lions bye week, then Niners.
Yeah. So yeah,
I'll say we go 1-2 in those games.
you say 1-2. I am reserving comment.
Okay.
I'm reserving
Good
comment
reserve.
just for a couple of different reasons. Um, but yeah, we'll see you guys in about a week. On that note, thank you guys for watching the Silver and Blue Insights podcast. Make sure to follow us on all social medias: Instagram, Spotify, Twitter, YouTube, all that at Silver and Blue Insights. Make sure to set it to auto download on Spotify because that really does help us, just helps us get out there. Make sure to give us a rating. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And of course, if you're smart, like I always say, listen on Spotify, mute it on YouTube while watching. That way you can double support us. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next week.